And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Okay, starting off here with some information on the flood, the Mendenhall River near Aku Bay flood warning. That remains out until 8 a.m. Thursday morning. And even though river levels are coming down now, they're still in flood stage. And at currently, or at least at 1 p.m. this afternoon, it was at 10.6 feet and falling. Crest height of 16.65 feet was at 7:15 a.m. on the 13th today, this morning. And that was again a record high, beating last year's level of 15 something and the previous record the year before in 2023 of 14 something feet. Anyway, again, the flood warning out until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and the dikes and levees they put in place there did help mitigate the flooding to some extent. Otherwise, moving on to fire weather update for Wednesday. Today, very wet weather in the western part of the state. This entire week is ending the fire season there. Warm and dry in the east again today, with highs in the 70s and humidities near 30% in the valleys. And dry fuels can still be found in some pockets of the eastern interior, but fire activity will remain low. And the outlook is for cooler, wetter weather returning for the second half of this week and into the weekend for much of the state. And from there, looking at fire danger for grass, moderate fire danger from the Arctic coast here all the way down to the Copper River Basin, and some areas of high fire danger along the lee side of the eastern Alaska Range there, North Waytok in those areas, and also up, looks like along the Porcupine River there from about the Fort Yukon Chalkyitsik area and then on off to the northeast. And this, again, the fire danger forecast tomorrow for grass. And for spruce, quite an area of high fire danger in the Yukon Flats, with a small area of very high fire danger there, and an even more extensive area of very high fire danger for spruce there on the north side of the eastern Alaska Range. And for satellite imagery, front pushing eastward with clouds and rain coming with it. Rain falling, pushing up into northern Cook Inlet during the afternoon hours today. Merrill Field carrying moderate rain in one observation there, and starting to end now down southern Cook Inlet. Rain's ended at Kenai area, and still rain across the Kuskokwim Valley out into the Kuskokwim Delta. Bethel still carrying rain, and a lot of clouds here streaming northward toward the Arctic coast. So pretty cloudy day, mid and high level clouds here up over the eastern interior areas, and a very nice day over the southeast coast with some good sunshine there, allowing temperatures to rise in the lower and mid 70s in some locations. And a break here to the southwest, Kodiak Island up into Bristol Bay. Another system bringing some moisture into the eastern Aleutians, spreading into the Alaska Peninsula. Break behind that, and then some more clouds to the west of Shimia. And rolling this through again, you can see mass of moisture up here in the Russian Far East. Looks like it's starting to pull down to the southeast. And the forecast for tonight, that trough pretty much stays back up in the northwest here. And a weak trough here coming across the Bering Sea with some areas of light rain, drizzle, fog, and some showers there. Starting to slide eastward there a little bit toward the Pribilof Islands, but not quite making it, coming over the top of this ridge of high pressure centered near Adak and Atka. And that's going to produce light wind conditions all along the Aleutians. In fact, the entire Bering Sea is going to see fairly light winds. Kind of some breezy conditions developing here with a higher pressure out to the west and this low tracking just southeast of Kodiak Island, and the general area of lower pressure here over the eastern part of the state. And so start pick up a little bit of a northwest wind here. Otherwise, for tonight, the showers shift northward, or the areas of rain pushing northward here from northern Cook Inlet, start to taper off slowly from south to north or southwest to northeast, but that'll push rain up into the northern Susitna Valley and into the Alaska Range area as the east side stays dry with some clearing. Starts to dry out here over the Seward Peninsula, already has. Rainfall pretty much ended there for the Nome area. May see some clearing, but don't count on too much, just be drier. Another warm front out here to the west, and looking at this system here, south of the Panhandle that for tomorrow slides mostly off to the east there, but close enough that's going to nudge some moisture northward and bring an increasing chance of rain to Prince of Wales Island, with some scattered isolated showers becoming more isolated the farther north you go up toward Juneau. Otherwise, up Lynn Canal, Haines, Skagway should be a pretty nice day tomorrow. Some variable clouds, dry conditions, light winds again all through this area. In the interior here, cooler with rain and showers falling in much of the area here. In the green shaded area, that's the best chance of seeing any measurable precipitation. You can see that scatters out here as you get down into northeast Bristol Bay. And showers mostly over the mountainous terrain tomorrow in the afternoon, or actually best chance in the morning, slowly improving and tapering off in the afternoon, slowly there, and to a lesser extent over the Copper River Basin. High pressure out here over the Bering Sea, or actually centered over the east central Aleutians there, but really covering much of the Bering Sea. Westerly flow over the top of that, trying to pull this weak system out of the Russian Far East there, but not having much chance of doing that. And this system pushing some rain up to Kiska, Amchitka, possibly to Adak. Just a chance at this point in time. Starting to clear out Kodiak Island. Still be some clouds around, but it will be a dry day there tomorrow as that northwest wind continues there. That should begin to break the clouds out for the lee side, or the Pacific side of the Alaska Peninsula. And then for the day Friday, the system does bring rain now up into the Aleutians here, spreading eastward toward Nikolsky late in the day, or probably by evening. To the north, variably cloudy with light winds over the Pribilof Islands, much of the Bering Sea now. Gradient starting to tighten up here for Friday afternoon. As you can see, southern Cook Inlet, Kamishak Bay, Barren Islands, Kodiak Island could see gusts anywhere from 25 to 35 miles an hour. And starting to get a little breezy in Cook Inlet, but not too much there, with some clouds, but increasing sunshine in the afternoon, especially for Cook Inlet and the Kenai Peninsula with this type of wind flow. But look for showers and mostly cloudy skies. Talkeetna's, Manuska Valley, even a lot of clouds in the Susitna Valley and Copper River Basin with showers. Showers with this trough along the Yukon River there out toward the Delta. Another trough up here to the northwest, bringing some showers to the central and eastern Brooks Range, with scattered showers through much of the eastern interior. Maybe some rain and snow showers on the light rain and snow showers to the eastern Arctic coast. This system pushes up toward the Queen Charlotte Islands from Thursday afternoon to Friday afternoon and keeps it wet over the southern southeast coast as that front kind of wraps back up in toward Dixon Entrance there. Drier to the north, but looking at more clouds, probably a cloudy day up over those northern areas there, with this low kicking off a few showers over toward the eastern border, mostly in the Yukon. And then for Saturday, first day of the weekend, back to wet weather across all the Panhandle, with that low pulling northward there just off the central coast by the afternoon. And otherwise, mostly sunny with dry northwest winds here. South central Alaska, Kodiak Island, with mostly sunny skies extending northward through the central interior all the way to the Arctic coast. Could be a few showers lingering there over the eastern interior, mostly from the Brooks Range down in toward the Tanana Valley area, but not too bad, or nothing too terribly heavy. This system here coming across the Chukchi Sea could spread some light rain as far south as the Bering Strait and the western Seward Peninsula, possibly reaching Nome late in the day, and that'll move up toward Kivalina, Point Hope, Cape Lisburne, and the western Arctic coast for a chance of rain in the afternoon on Saturday. Otherwise, pretty nice. The remainder of the North Slope and Arctic coast up there. High pressure here just north of Unalaska Island. Light winds, dry conditions, much of the Bering Sea, and this system keeps it wet over the Aleutians, as I mentioned before. And for the lows tonight, coolest here for the western central Arctic coast, lower to mid 30s there, or mid to upper 30s, I should say. Otherwise, 40s and lower 50s over the remainder part of the state, although all in the 50s for the Panhandle. Highs tomorrow, 60s to near 70 again, maybe 70, 71 in some locations there for the southeast coast. About the same here over the eastern interior, mid 60s in the Copper River Basin though. Lower 60s, lower to mid 60s, Bristol Bay, Kodiak Island, and upper 50s, lower 60s, south central Alaska. A little cooler here for the western Brooks Range. Looks like highs there in the 30s. Otherwise 50s for the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. And the lows the following morning, lower 30s, or in the 30s here, Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast, and mostly in the 40s now in the interior, 45 to 50 south central Alaska, lower 50s Kodiak Island, still in the 50s, in some cases upper 50s for the southeast coast, and then the upper 40s out to the west. And for the highs on Friday afternoon, 60s here across southern Alaska into Bristol Bay, mid-60s Kodiak Island, Homer, pretty good, 65 for the high. And actually probably see some mid-60s all the way up into the Susitna Valley, as well as portions of the Copper River Basin, and upper 60s to lower 70s for the southeast coast.